Hey everyone, I'm Neil. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Flags Only, your home for flag football news and stories. Bringing this episode to you guys today after a bit of a personal break, but happy to get back to it. I feel like I decided to take a couple weeks off just to recuperate from the world of flag football, and wow, a lot happened in my absence. So I have some big stories I want to cover today. Before I get to it, I want to thank our sponsors. Just kidding. We don't have any sponsors. So instead, I'm just going to thank all the great teachers I had in like elementary school and middle school and high school. Um, all the people who showed up every day to teach me how to read and write and do math. I'm not very good at math anymore. But shout out to all the teachers out there. Okay, so let's get to it. First story. So apparently, Peter O'Reilly, who's the executive vice president of club business, international, and league events for the NFL, was on a podcast, the Up and Adams Show, which is a clever title, probably better than mine. But apparently, Peter was on this podcast and he confirmed a couple pretty big things about the pro leagues that the NFL is working on. So, first, Peter confirmed that there is going to be a combine for these pro leagues, these pro flag leagues, and there's going to be a draft. So, that makes sense. I think we're in such an interesting position now of sort of getting this slow drip of information where we know that there's these pro leagues coming up, but we really don't know what they're going to look like, what cities they're going to be in. I think we can maybe guess, or like, what's the affiliation going to be with the NFL teams? Is there going to be one team per NFL team? That seems like a lot to start out with. I can't imagine there's going to be 32 women's flag football professional flag teams and 32 men pro flag teams like all at once. My guess is this is going to start out much smaller with like 8 teams per league. That's my guess, but it's really cool to again sort of start to learn to get a picture of what this is going to look like. And I guarantee you it's not like they have a perfect vision and plan yet, and I bet they're still iterating and figuring this out. So we're probably learning it at the same time that they are all collaborating internally. They're working with Tomorrow Sports, and they are all figuring this out, and we're hearing about it in real time. And so it's cool to hear that there's going to be a combine and draft. I would declare myself eligible, but I might be a little too busy for that. But hey, this is going to be really cool to watch. And the other thing that Peter confirmed, and we kind of knew this, we suspected that they were going to be trying to launch this before the summer 2028 Olympics, when flag football is going to make its Olympic debut. And it seems like he confirmed on the podcast a few days ago that they are targeting a launch in late spring or early summer 2027, which by my calendar is about a year away. So a year sounds like a long time, but it's really not. And I bet they are working around the clock, at least Monday through Friday, to try to build this thing out, to storyboard it, to see what it's really going to look like. So that's the latest on the pro leagues that the NFL is working on, the pro flag football leagues. So it's going to be really cool to see how that shapes up. The next story is another thing that has been percolating for a while, and this is, when is the NCAA going to actually have a flag football championship officially? And I'm reading the news here, and it looks like that the NCAA committee voted at its most recent spring meeting to recommend that D1, D2, and D3 all sponsor legislation to actually add that flag football collegiate championship. My understanding of the mechanics of this, the administrative bureaucracy here, is that each of those divisions, D1, D2, D3, need to sponsor a proposal by July 1, and then there would be a formal vote in January 2027. So I don't think we're going to know whether there's going to be an official flag football collegiate championship from the NCAA just yet. looks like we're going to have to wait another 6 or 7 months or so. Um, but come on. I mean, are they actually not going to do this? It seems like the writing's on the wall and we're just going through the motions and the formalities and everything. But I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen and we're going to see an NCAA collegiate championship for flag football. And it looks like, again, we're going to see a formal vote on that in January 2027. So that's some exciting stuff. Finally, the third story, and this is keeping, I guess, with my normal format of covering pro stuff, covering college, and now covering high school. Um, so just in the last few weeks, at the end of April and leading into the beginning of May, 6 states, including DC, have officially sanctioned flag football at the high school level. So that was Kansas on April 23rd, Maryland on April 24th, DC April 26th, New Jersey May 4th, North Carolina May 6th, and then Kentucky also May 6th. So that brings up the number of states, including DC, the number of states that have officially sanctioned high school flag football. That brings the total up to 23. So 50 states, last time I checked, plus DC, that's 51. That means we're at 23 out of 51, which is almost half. That's almost 50%. And I'm going to get more into the numbers, but that's huge. That over half, not over half, almost half um, of the states, including DC, have officially sanctioned high school flag football as a sport. And what's interesting, obviously, Jersey, North Carolina, these are big states. There's a lot of big states that haven't officially sanctioned it yet. So the states that haven't officially sanctioned high school flag football includes Texas, which is the second largest state in the union by population. They have 31.7 million people. That's a huge outlier. California sanctioned it, New York, Florida. Texas hasn't. So Texas, I don't know what you're doing out there, but you better get to the party before it's over. It's not going to be over. I mean, this we're just watching this just bloom and blossom, but get on it, Texas. And then the Midwest is also lagging behind. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, all three of those, they haven't sanctioned it yet. I think they all have pilot programs, by the way, all these states, but they haven't officially sanctioned it yet. And also states like Oregon and Massachusetts, more big states, they have not officially sanctioned it yet. So that's all going to happen, I guarantee it, in the next year or two. So we'll see. We'll see. But on this topic of high school and the states that are sanctioning it, I maybe I sounded a bit impatient just now, ragging on Texas and everything, but let's just take a step back for a second and really consider what has happened. So the first state to officially sanction flag football was Florida way back in 2002. So they're way ahead of the curve because the next state to do it was Nevada in 2017. So that's a 14, 15-year lag time from Florida doing it first all the way to number 2. Alaska followed after that, and then there was really a wave from 2020 to 2022 with Georgia, Alabama, Illinois, Arizona, and then it kind of has just really started to accelerate from there. So just to back up for a second, starting in 2020, we were at 3 states out of 50 plus DC. We were at 3, and this was just 6 years ago. And now we're at 23. So I think, nowadays, me especially, we all expect things to happen instantly. And with AI and all of that, like stuff does happen really fast. The world moves very quickly. And so it can be like, wow, really only 23 out of 51 possible jurisdictions have officially sanctioned high school flag football. Maybe that seems like it's slow. But when you actually take a step back and you think about the fact that just 6 years ago, there was only 3, and now we're at 23, that's huge. This is, again, the S curve that I've talked about over and over again. We are watching this accelerate in real time. And so it's really exciting to watch. In terms of the states that are coming up, it looks like Missouri, Virginia, Oklahoma, I mean, Texas, Indiana, and Massachusetts are all expected to vote on sanctioning sometime between this year and next. So just because we're only at 23 out of 51, it doesn't mean that's the end of the show. Um, Once again, high school flag football is the fastest growing sport in the U.S. by every metric that matters. Since first started taking the survey, since the pandemic, we've seen a 388% increase in girls' participation in flag football. We have 2,700 high schools fielding teams. Again, these are numbers from like a year ago, so I imagine these are much higher now. Um, but this is the real deal, and it's exciting to watch. So those are the three big stories I want to hit. I'll continue to put stuff up on the flagsonly.com webpage and share stuff out on Instagram. But apologies for the few week break there. Seems like the world of flag football was not going to wait around for me to get back, but really exciting stuff all around. All right, thanks everyone.